So today we're taking a look at Vermintide 1, 10 years later. This is a game that was heavily inspired by Left 4 Dead, developed by Fat Shark, and of course, years later we did get a sequel, Vermintide 2, and then a couple of years after that, we got Darktide. And overall, I would recommend you play those games over this one in 2025, not because Vermintide 1 is a bad game, far from it. It's actually really fun, or at least it was. Because you see, the thing is with these videos is that I'm talking about not how great the game used to be, how good the game currently is after X amount of years that the game's been out. Well, 10 years later, Vermintide 1 has pretty much non-existent player base. You're not going to be able to really find anybody online. I've tried multiple times and have only been able to play against AI. The Steam charts show something like 25 active players every day, but that's worldwide, so the likelihood of you actually finding 3 other people to play with, like random, you're not going to be able to get that. If you have friends that have the game, then you guys can play together and start matches with each other, but that's really like the only viable way that I would say you can play Vermintide 1 online. While Vermintide 2 and Darktide have tens of thousands of players every day, respectively. So it's obvious which one, like if you're talking about which game that you would rather play, Vermintide 1 would not be that game. Most people in the community also agree that Vermintide 2 is just a better game overall and offers so much more that, yeah, any way you slice it, you're better off just playing that. That being said, one thing that Vermintide 1 still gets a lot of praise for 10 years later is that it had better maps. Most people who played both games would say that the map design was far superior in V1 compared to V2. And the weird thing is, they took such heavy inspiration from Left 4 Dead with the gameplay and the overall mechanics and just the overall vibe for this game. But one thing they didn't take from Left 4 Dead is the fact that when Left 4 Dead 2 came out, they ported all the content over from Left 4 Dead 1 to Left 4 Dead 2. Valve did, but Fat Shark did not do that from Vermintide 1 to Vermintide 2. I think V2 would be even better than it already is if we got to actually have the V1 maps included. But yeah, they definitely did a great job with Vermintide. I think the melee combat is very satisfying. The enemy variety, very unique presentation, having like these rat-like creatures that you have to kill, because it is a post-apocalyptic setting. It's a medieval type setting, so I thought having these giant rat-like creatures was very fitting and very unique. So they nailed the presentation. Visually and graphically, I think, is also still very solid, still holds up quite well after a decade. Combat is pretty deep and takes a lot in order to master, which I admittedly have not done, because I didn't really put a lot of time into this game. This year was the first time that I played the game. It was on sale, and I was curious. I'm like, oh, let's see what this game's all about. I also bought Vermintide 2, so I'm going to be playing that game very soon as well. And I'll probably have a lot more to say about that game, because there's a lot more going on for it to this day. There's still a couple of updates being done here and there, like the Horde mode and everything like that. So we'll talk about a lot of that when the time comes. But yeah, overall, Vermintide 1, if you're a huge fan of Vermintide 2, you might as well pick this game up because of the maps and everything, and it is a little bit unique. But otherwise, for a co-op game, not having a lot of players online, pretty hard for me to recommend in that case.